Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Mental Health Impact Series, Season 2, Episode 7. Today, we're back here to talk about mental health and talk about different strategies to improve our mental well-being. We're so excited to continue this discussion to break cultural stigma and encourage outreach for professional help and other supports. We have today with us the one and only Maham Sheikh from here, Toronto, to continue this discussion with us. I am so honored, Maham, that you're here to share your energy and your wisdom with our audience. Could you please unmute yourself and introduce yourself?
Thank you so much for having me here today, Aanchal. I feel so grateful and I'm so blessed to have this opportunity. Hi everyone, my name is Maham Sheikh and I'm a registered child and youth worker. I'm also a professional dancer and I'm also a certified mindfulness and wellness coach. I really focus on encouraging my clients to hone into their own micro wellness strategies to make sure that they are living mindful lives and are very present in their presence.
That's beautiful. Could you share a bit about your professional background, Maham?
Yeah, of course. So I do work for the school board and I'm a child and youth worker. I work in equity actually. And I was also working for the mental wellness department. And so I don't just do this for work. I really do this this is like my life's calling, really. So anywhere I go, I make sure to bring my educational and my professional background and really share the wealth and the knowledge and the strategies with folks and empower them and allow for them to really understand and deeply comprehend that they are in charge of their wellness.
I love that. And what brought you to do this important work?
You know what? I'll keep it so real with you. When you just get sick of your own ish, that pretty much led me to my own mindfulness and wellness journey. And honestly, Aanchal, I was somebody who was looking for, I guess, a sense of calm and a sense of connection in all the wrong places. And it was all external. And when I realized that nothing out there was helping me, I had no choice but to go within myself and then do that, take that inwards approach. And you know what, in taking that inwards approach, I understood how important it is to become aware of that incessant noise and the dialogue taking place within your brain. And so, I always think about it, the most amount of conversation that you have is with yourself. So you want to make sure that the right things are being said. So if people go within their brains and there's a negative narrative, that can be quite detrimental. But through mindfulness, through meditation, I understood that I get to then go back in and rewire some of those neural pathways to really ensure my subconscious was internalizing these positive messages that would allow for me to thrive. And here we are.
First of all, I just want to commend you for sharing that and for keeping it real, because I think often that's where it stems from. It stems from a need and want within. And what's beautiful about you and everything about your energy and your being is that you've embodied it. You have taken the time to embody all of these strategies that you're here now teaching people. And now you're wanting to change the world person by person. And I can feel that in the work you do. Thank you so much, Maham. I just want to say we need more people like you.
Honestly, I just openly receive your love right now. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Of course, we have a comment here. Hello, very excited for this conversation. The most conversations you'd ever have is with yourself. So true, Maham. And that's really true. I think self-talk is so important because, mental health is something we all have, right? It's about whether we have poor mental health or positive mental health. And mental health is different from mental illness. But what does mental health mean to you, Maham?
Mental health means to me a perpetual journey. For me, it's not a one and done. It's not something that I just check off my list. It's something that I really try to practice, not just preach, because preaching, the talk is easy, but it's about self-discipline. It's about really ensuring that if you set those little 1% goals for yourself, that you actually go and do them and you like achieve those tiny micro goals. I read that book by James Clear, Atomic Habits, and it really changed my life. Like he talks about just the 1% changes that you can make. And when I think about my mental health, I don't think 25%, and I'm not trying to achieve 100%. Every day, I really count the moments that I was really present in, the moments I had fun. I'll be honest with you, and this is like a me thing ever since I was a kid. I love to have fun. Yeah. And I think those attributes within my personality trait really helped me become the person I am today. And I found myself in really toxic situations. And because of that, I was able to like pull myself out. So the one thing I talk about when I think about mental health is that figure out what you love to do and go do it. Do it every day. Do it daily, every day. Make time for the things you love to do, period.
Yeah, absolutely. Mom, for people that are tuned in right now and don't know what is mindful living, could you elaborate a bit, explain what is mindful living and how it could help them?
100%. So I read everything by Thich Nhat Hanh. He's a Vietnamese monk, and he pretty much brought mindfulness to the West alongside with John Kabat-Zinn. But anyways, a lot of Thich Nhat Hanh's texts talk about mindful living. And he pretty much says, come back to the breath, come back to the breath, come back to the breath. And so I really internalize that, where anytime I'm feeling anxious, anxiety is a real thing, folks. Anxiety is a real thing. Depression's for real, for real. Anytime I find myself going down that black hole of negativity, God bless, I'm in a place, I'm in a headspace now that I can catch those thoughts. But that mindfulness came with time and practice. That's why it's called a meditation practice. So the one thing is, come back to your breath. Understand that you are alive in this moment, and therefore you're winning. You're winning.
I love that. How can we demonstrate right now? If you can, lead a very quick mindful exercise or a breath work, just so the audience knows. I say this now because I want to be, again, I'll keep it real. You know, I did share with you that we founded Reach Out together after I lost my twin brother. And I remember after 6 months, I instantly started hosting events because I got mental health first aid certified with the Mental Health Commission of Canada. And it was in class I realized my brother was just sick. And I think the community was sort of unaware. And it's really not a big deal. Like, there's help available, but that created awareness within me, right? So that encouraged me to go pursue therapy for the very first time in my life. But I remember going to my therapist, and I changed 4 of them in the beginning because it just wasn't working out. I wasn't getting what I thought, what I needed at that time, right? And I remember telling the therapist the first time, or the first 2 times, I think this feeling is anxiety because it was new for me, what I was experiencing. And they would tell me breath work, you know, go back to your breathing. But I never understood what that meant until my 4th therapist, she sat me down and she's like, here's some like practical things you can do in real time. So if you can lead it, that would be fantastic.
That's yes. And I want to say that the workshops that I offer, Aanchal, it's all experiential. And I even got my certification in applied specialization in mindful meditation. Because when you talk about the theory, you may lose folks, and people's learning curves are different too. Like, I work in mental wellness, so I work with students with learning differences. So you can't just show people or talk to people in one form. You really have to make it well versed, so that if someone's an auditory learner, they can catch on. If someone is a visual learner, they can also pick up. So my workshop is all experiential. So we can do a quick breathwork practice right now. All we're doing is taking 3 breaths. Y'all, it's that simple. It's that easy. It's free of charge. You can do it anytime you want, but you have to do it actively and consciously. That's the key. So you really have to following your breath, and we're going to take what's called a diaphragmatic breath. If there's any kids watching, it's just belly breathing. And so we're really going to enlarge our diaphragm and really expand our lungs. And we're going to engage our mouth, our throat, our chest, our abdomen, stomach, all of that good stuff. And my prophet UFT literally told me that your lungs can expand from the nape of your neck all the way down your spine, which I didn't even know. So you can really expand your lungs over time, practice it, and then take in a lot of oxygen. So when you hyperoxygenate your brain, you're already going to bring yourself into what's called homeostasis. So your cortisol level, like your stress hormone, will decrease. So like your parasympathetic and your sympathetic, like your autonomic nervous system, you have full control. Autonomic, like I follow the work of Dr. Andrew Huberman, and he says even the term autonomic is inaccurate because studies now show that you are able to control your nervous system, which I think is the coolest thing ever. So let's do a practice. 3 breaths, that's it. Engage your nose. No one can hear you, so really use your nose, and I want you to be able to hear yourself take that inhale. We're going to pause for a couple seconds, and then we're going to take a deep sigh when we exhale through our mouth, and I want you to just let your body loose. Before we get into the actual breath work, I want to just invite everyone to take a nice dignified posture. Make sure your spine is nice and straightened. You're tall like a tree. We love trees. Open up your palms, place them on your knees like so. To me, that just symbolizes that I'm open to receiving all of the positivity in the universe. And then when you're ready, I want you to go ahead and soften your face. Focus on your eyes and just soften your eyeballs. And check out your tongue. If it's touching the roof of your mouth, let it drop. I'm going to also invite everyone to go ahead and close your eyes. I'm going to do that as well. And when you're ready, take a nice in-breath through the nose. Hold it in. Hold it in. And release. That was beautiful. Let's do it again. Inhale. Hold it. And release. One last time, make it count. Inhale. And let go. Stay there for a moment. Become hyper aware of this moment. And then go ahead, wiggle your fingers and toes. And when you're ready, slowly open your eyes. Awesome. I hope that you're feeling kind of zen right now.
I do every single time.
Yes.
Every single time. And I love that, you're like, all that it takes is 3 breaths in, right?
Folks, it takes 9 seconds for the chemicals to release. So we've got 4 happy chemicals: serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin, endorphin. And again, you get to control the release up here, right? And with mental health, it shows that some people don't create those chemicals in their brains. And therefore, if they're moody or if they're not feeling good, that's valid. There's literally, like, mental health is real. Like, there's chemical imbalances taking place in your brain, causing you to not be able to connect to the love and light within. It's not your fault. This is literally your brain. And so you deserve help. You deserve to seek professional help. You deserve love and support, period. And so, like, we need to, again, normalize that and talk about the breath, because studies again show that you can tap into those different parts of your brain and release those different chemicals.
I love that.
I want to go ahead and say, let's mandate mindfulness, but that defeats the whole purpose of it. So I'm not going to say that, but it's just like, we need to just normalize it. That's what I'm going to end off with. Like, we got to normalize it. Let's talk about breath work. DMT is like this drug that people take now. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about that, but it's like legit, because your lungs produce DMT. So through conscious breathing, it's like an actual psychedelic. You can get high of life. When people say that, I'm high on life, that's what they mean, probably. I don't know. I mean, it is true for me.
I don't know. I have actually experienced that. Like when I was doing this 1 month daily meditation practice with a group of 50 people. I
Amazing.
remember towards the end of it, that last week, it was, I tried to tell a couple of my friends this feeling, and they were not, they weren't understanding it. They were reducing the impact of it. And I'm like, you know what? You have to experience it for you to truly understand this. But I understand it's such a remarkable feeling. We have some more comments coming in here, Maham, from the audience. I love your approach towards living a mindful life. But for someone who really suffers with living in the present, what advice would you give them?
Create a practice for yourself. So in one of the books, High on Life, yes, just that comment over there, heavily meditated, folks. But honestly, like, again, it's a practice. I can't even emphasize enough on the fact that this is not something you're going to achieve overnight. It's a journey. There's going to be times where for weeks you're not going to feel like yourself. And then all of a sudden you're going to be like, whoa, you're going to have that transformative moment. And it's not just going to be one moment. There are going to be multiple transformative moments for you where you're going to experience these paradigm shifts, and you're going to kind of take that backward seat of your own life and really reevaluate. I do it daily, but if I read a book and in it said that you should have a back pocket list of things that you love to do. So anytime you're feeling down, go into your back pocket, pull out that list, and start doing even one thing. Start with one thing. Don't make it, chunk it, like make it bite-sized. But you will have to put in that work. Y'all, I do self-work. I do the inner work daily. In every moment, I try to be mindful. So what I'm saying is that it's not, again, it's thank you, but it's not just a one and done. I put in that work. I know I put in that work. It's not for anybody else. This is a me versus me game. This is not about anybody else. So this is a you and you situation. So you gotta make sure that you put in that work, even if it's 2 minutes, set your timer. I talk to Siri, I'm like, Siri, set my timer, 2 minutes, that's it. And then I do self-reflective work. I journal, I write out, what do I like to do? What does Maham Sheikh even like? Let's start there. What do I like? So for me, just a quick example, because again, I want to make sure that it's like I'm telling you things that are not theory. Like this is how I practice it. Every morning I wake up, like I read somewhere that your brain is in like a theta state of mind, like, like beta, alpha, theta, whatever, like your REM cycle and your sleep cycle or whatever. Don't quote me, but I think that your brain is in like a theta state of mind, which means it's soft and mushy. So it's still it's soft and mushy as though it was when we were kids and our brain was still developing. And when it is like that, you can target your subconscious. Every morning you wake up, check out what your morning routine is all about. Every night when you go to sleep, you're in theta. Check out what your nighttime routine is all about. And the thing is, a lot of people will go from being awake to boom, being asleep. Don't do that. Take time. I do light meditations every night. By hook or by crook, it doesn't matter what my day was about. I release any energies and I will command it. Words have power. Words are powerful. Affirm it. Affirm your life. Romanticize your life. I say today was amazing. These are my goals for tomorrow. When I wake up, I'm going to be in a good mood. I'm going to massage my brain with love. I literally visualize my fingers going into my head with love, goo, and then I'm just massaging it. I do these silly things, but it works, dude. It works. Because again, on a quantum level, we are all energy. And energy can be manipulated. So whatever energy that we're working with on an anxious level, you can take that same energy and channel it into excitement energy, right? If it's hyperfixating on something negative, take that energy and hyperfixate it onto a goal. But sit down with yourself and figure out what your goals are. Figure out what you like to do. Figure out the people in your life. Energy transfers are real. Figure out who's in your energetic space, who is in your circle of influence, as Stephen Covey talks about, the guy who wrote the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Yeah. Figure that out. Do that inner work. Do that inner work daily. So if you're starting off, morning routine, nighttime routine, and your back pocket list, those are 3 things. If you figure these 3 things out, I'm telling you, within a day's time, you will see the difference. You're going to be in a good mood. And I think there's a part of your brain that's called RAS, reticular activation system. And it's kind of like the law of attraction, just putting that out there. But it's like that thought process where it's like yellow. When you think of yellow cabs, you see a lot of yellow cabs. So when you are constantly thinking positive thoughts, you are thereby attracting yourself to positive experiences and emotions and opportunities and people. Like that's how I'm sitting here in this interview with Aanchal because I clearly attracted this.
Yes, honestly, you're a person that has been through it, has lived through it,
Yeah.
embody it, and now you're showing up, you're practicing it, and it comes through, Maham.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for recognizing.
No, of course, like anyone can tell, like it takes a lot to do what you're doing and to show up, and the importance of taking care of yourself as you're showing up to make that difference and you're being of service for other people.
Yes.
Right? I think today more than ever, because we're in a pandemic, like our lives have sort of disrupted. We're adapting and we're adjusting to the life changes that have come our way. So more props to you, more power to you. We at Reach Out Together, we're here to support you in any capacity that we can. So
Thank
please just let us know. We're all so excited to have you in a part of the show as well. And I know you know that. We have more comments coming in from the audience. The fact that you could self-reflect, that is a skill not many can do. I love that term, micro goals. It's true. It reminds us to take things step by step and not expect sudden improvements overnight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to talk about that self-reflection piece, right? And I also want to talk about that comment where you're talking about the pandemic and how our new normal is like a brand new normal. So like, again, even like going back to when we were cave folks, our brain like was a reptilian brain, and then it got upgraded to like the paleo-mammalian, and now we got promoted to neo-mammalian. And this is like just a generalization of our brain upgrades, but it's like your brain is going to want to stick to anything that gives you stress and anxiety. Science shows this because as a human species, we're always trying to survive. And the thing is, so if anything stresses you out, you're going to remember it because you're going to be like, I don't want that to reoccur. But then the thing is like, you'll start hyperfixating, and that's a different story. But as a mammal species, like that's what our brain does. And so you really have to like put in those gears to then shift some of those, again, neural synapses and pathways to then be formed. And again, the work of Dr. Andrew Huberman, I learned through his work that it's through focus that you're able to like get those little chemical sparks going. So for new neural synapses to take place, for rewiring to occur, unlearning to occur, there has to be focus. And that's what mindfulness does, because over time, meditation shows that you're able to increase your focus, you sharpen your attention, you become more empathetic towards your own emotions, but also your emotional intelligence rises. So you're more in tune with other people's emotions around you. But the point I'm trying to make is that like over time, like because of your brain and all of those upgrades, you're going to then be more connected, and you're going to be more connected to yourself, and you're going to create that deep sense of equanimity within you. And so again, going back to Dr. Andrew Huberman, he says that through focus, the new synapses and neural pathways can occur. And then with the deep rest, they can actually unfold and become strengthened. So that's like your autopilot, because everyone's got an autopilot. You've got a brain, you've got a bias. That's not my quote. That's somebody else's quote. I'm forgetting their names, but you've got a brain, you've got a bias. And so rather than being on autopilot all the time, you want to make sure that you're getting that rest. That's why I'm always telling people on my like Insta story and live, like hydrate, moisturize, stretch your body, breathe, do these things. I'm just looking at some of the comments as well.
So beautiful. Thank you, Maham. We're all energy. Energy transfer is real. Yes, thank you for being here, Maham. I agree with everything you're saying. You are incredible.
Thank you. Gratitude.
Thank you. Right now that you're still working at the school board, right?
I love the job.
You love the job. I could tell.
My job. I'm so grateful. And like through the school board, I've gotten so many incredible opportunities where I guess my scalability of work has increased, and I'm just so grateful to all my mentors. I'm so grateful for the opportunities and for people just like recognizing the light and just the love, and servitude is the goal, Aanchal. Servitude is the goal. I read that book, The Seven Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra. And he talks about the Dharma. And it's like, I do a lot of self-reflection around like, okay, what do I even want to do with my life? And it spread love. And so at the school board, I get so many opportunities to work with these students that are just, they're openly receiving, and they're so raw in their presence, and they're just, open to receiving the love. And so I'm so grateful that I get to do the work that I get to do. And, again, I work in equity. So community work and, Indigenous, trying to do work around like anti-racism, anti-Indigenous erasure, like stuff like that. Like, it's so important because that's our history. That's our current reality. So I get to do a little bit of dismantling around systemic and systematic racism, really like talk to folks about white supremacy. Like, I'm from Pakistan. We were colonized. That shit like affects you. It does. My beauty standard is Eurocentric, whether I want to admit to it or not. It is. And so again, and also like in our community, in my community, especially, I love my culture. And at the same time, I can be critical of it. So there's that. But it's like colorism is a huge part of my community. It's like it's a real thing. My nieces and nephews that are kids will be like, oh, like Mona Khala, like you are light skinned. And the fact that they pass comments like that, it's like makes me aware of my privilege, first of all. But then also it's like colorism is internalized racism. And so I really try to, again, when I'm working with the students, everything is secular, of course. And I'm so mindful that everything is, I'm trauma informed. So it's trauma informed care. That all is there. And at the same time, it's like getting kids to understand, like, or getting even educators. Educators need education, me included, me number one on that list. It's like, when you were growing up, what movies and stories and pop culture did you grow up with? Who was always the villain in the stories you were reading? Who was glamorized? Which cultures were put on a pedestal? That affects you.
Yeah.
That's the incessant noise that's like in your brain constantly. That's your subconscious. So anyways, so with the school board, I get to do a little bit of work here and there. So I just try to stay authentic to what feels good to me. And then I just, make the proposals. And again, bless. I'm able to create opportunities where I get to do what I love.
And I honestly think it's because you're showing up. You keep showing up. You're doing the inner work. And it's your personality, Maham, once again. You are the change we need.
Thank you so much. I am so grateful. I'm so grateful. Thank you.
I mean it. Before we wrap up, we're coming to an end of our 30-minute discussion today. But as always, this was just not enough. I wish we had more time, but that actually gives us the opportunity to bring you back to our shows, perhaps during our next season. Do you know what our logo stands for? I hope
it's together in sign language, which I think is so beautiful, because there's a term. It's a African Swahili term. If I'm inaccurate, let me know, please. I'm always open to criticalities and learning. But it's Ubuntu. It means I am, so you are, and you are, so I am. And it's that level of interconnectedness, which I just love so much.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Thanks for telling us that. Yeah, so we actually use the color orange in our logo, because orange in color healing therapy, it brings up feelings of warmth and happiness. There's a circle around it to symbolize the world. Our vision here is to heal the world together, community by community, conversation by conversation, just like we did today. I know this discussion is going to help people that will tune in, or people that have already watched this. Before we wrap up, Maham, 2 questions for you. Where can people find you or contact you?
So I'm really, really easily reachable on Instagram. You can just shoot me in my DMs. And so my Instagram handle is Cosmic. So COSMIC, Queen with an X. So QXEEN. So it's Cosmic Queen on Instagram.
Amazing. And lastly, if there's one message you'd you want to leave the audience with, people perhaps that are tuned in, people that will watch it, that are really lost, confused, and they're willing to take that step to improve their well-being? What would you like to say to them?
So my one message would be that you are loved. Internalize this, recognize this, and believe it. Feel it, believe it. You are loved. And whatever you're going through, you gotta feel it to heal it, my friends. So allow yourself the space to feel, and all of the love and positive energy that you pour into everyone around you, take time within your day to simply pour that love and pour that positive energy into yourself daily.
We love that. That was so well said and quite quotable. Thank you so much, Maham. To everyone else that's tuned in till the very, very end of this interview, as always, we have a gift for you. I published this book, Success Strategies, with my mentor, Jack Canfield, who is the co-creator of Chicken Soup for the Soul Book series.
Yeah.
And if you would like, my team, we would be, we want to email you my excerpt from this book. It won the Editor's Choice Award, and the book was listed as Amazon's best-selling book within 24 hours of launch. So this is a gift completely complimentary. I guarantee you, I promise you, if you read this excerpt, it's going to make a slight difference internally. Hopefully it'll empower you to go reach out for professional help and other supports, because you are awesome and we are here for you. So thank you once again for tuning in, everybody. Thank you, Maham, from the bottom of my heart, for sharing your time with us on a Friday. You are amazing.
Thank you so much, everyone. And thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Bye for now.